Good evening. Welcome to the Michael Muse Show. And we are in for a treat. I have the one and only, the host of the Get Inside Me show, the relationship expert. This woman has been around the world. She knows people. She understands relationships. She understands the dynamics behind happiness and asking the questions within yourself and asking the questions that you need to with the other person. So if you don't know who she is, let me introduce you to Patu Loca.
You make me just want to go running, like feel like Rocky going up some stairs. I'm like, okay, hey everybody.
Yes, absolutely. Patu, you are amazing. Truly, when it comes to from the time we first met to now, you have grown leaps and bounds. And just to know that you're happy in a relationship now and moving forward, that is fantastic. Because truly, one thing about being a relationship expert, the one question people will always ask is, why aren't you in a relationship then? If you're so great and you know so much, and people can be kind of funny, but you know what? You are truly amazing. And we're gonna start this off right here, Patu. First of all, let me give you a chance to kind of share with the audience who you are and your show. And if you could share that real quick, that'd be great.
Well, my name is Patu Loca, as all of you guys know, and I started television 2004 and decided to go independent after featuring on the Roxy Show each and every Thursday morning with Mike, Melodic Mike, where we'd give relationship advice. People ask me questions. So for my show, I started doing my own show for my own self called the Get Inside Me Show, where the show is basically about love, sex, relationships. And now I have a segment where it's Ask Patu on my YouTube channel. So you guys can catch me on my YouTube channel at Patu Loca and on Spreaker Radio.
Say Spreaker Radio. So you're on internet, you're on podcasts, you're on the iHeart, you're on Spreaker, you're on all of it. So.
iHeart. I'm working on that. I'm gonna end up on iHeart. But yes. Okay. I'm gonna end up on iHeart. So that's Mike. See, now you done give up the exclusive scoop.
That's right.
You guys on the Michael Muse Show.
And we're glad to get that exclusive, one and only nugget hidden information. We're glad to get it today. And I want to thank all the guests who are watching. I know some people may be watching on Blab, but definitely those who are watching on michaelmusenow.com. I want to thank you for coming on, because without you, there is no me. So I truly want to thank you, because I am the author of Rise and Burn. And guess what? We finna ask a question and burn into these issues when it comes to relationships. And I thank each and every one of you for coming on. So Patu, definitely Patu, when I look at relationships, the narrative I see going on and the narrative I see on social media, everyone is always talking about keeping it real. I'm real. I'm a real man. I'm a real woman. And when they bring that narrative up, people say certain things, and too many times people say they're real. They say they give it 100, but then all you have to do is peel back a couple layers. You're like, it's not no keeping 100 like they've been running around preaching on. So I want you to just share your experience on what is being real to you.
Okay. Some of y'all audience might want to beat me down after I say this, but to me, keeping it real it depends. To me, keeping it real, you have to first surround yourself around people who have enough common sense to acknowledge and can tell and see you're keeping it real. Because if you're telling yourself I'm keeping it real, you're going to actually believe it. To me, keeping it real is not doing the whole extra, when you're dating someone, you're trying to put in your best foot forward, and then eventually you guys end up dating and you say, okay, I'm gonna let it go, unbuckle my belt, let my gut out, and just really be me now. To me, I feel like when it's coming to dating, the common normal things, when it comes to dating, like the no-nos you don't do in dating, doesn't mean you drop that. But at the end of the day, to me, keeping it real is more of, you have to peel back the layers, be the real you, not the showcase version of yourself or the person that you want everyone else to think that you are. Because it's only a matter of time until you can keep up the acting, and then eventually it'll fade, and then the person's wondering what happened to the person I knew a few months ago.
Exactly. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Hold on just a quick second, Patu.
Well, Michael Muse, you do have your moonwalking shoes, right?
Yeah, I got my moonwalking shoes.
Because I remember today I said I was gonna break it down. You got your Bible too? Because you might be like that.
I'm just getting set for the Periscope family, because so they can kind of listen in too. I was having trouble adjusting this camera earlier, but I think I just about got it. Gotta flip it around some more. Are you on Periscope yet, Patu?
You know, I signed up, but because I have so much going on, I have the cool thing that I love about Spreaker is, instead of me doing an episode and then having to stop and repeat the episode so I can, share with everyone that's already subscribed to certain avenues that I'm on. What I do love about Spreaker is it automatically shares it to my YouTube followers, it shares it to my SoundCloud followers, and pretty soon it'll send it to, the iHeart followers. So that's why I was like, perfect. So for me, I'm thinking I'm gonna saturate myself a lot more than I have been, and I'm out there like everywhere on the internet. So that's like, to go out there, and it's like every time when you find one program, there's another one or another one and another one that's coming out, which isn't bad for people like you and I, because the more you're out there, the more you have more masses to have opportunities to know you, hear you, and get to see what you're all about, compared to just one little outlet or two and things like that. But yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay. Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely, Patu, that was a great response. And definitely when it comes for me, and definitely when it comes to men, let me just bring up, with men, I know sometimes it's hard for men to be real. And a lot of times it's based on social issues. But I'm gonna say the number one main issue is not having a male figure who they can relate to, who can give them the advice, to give them that structure that they need to make the decisions that they need to make. And when they don't have that proper guidance, it plays a very rough role in their life when it comes to dealing with women, because at that point, the only thing they have to rely on, in a lot, not all cases, but in a lot of cases, they have to go on what their mom has told. Mm-hmm. And if the mom does not have a good relationship with the father, it is truly going to be a situation where, man, all she hears about is how bad he is and how he don't pay child support and how he don't spend time with him. And every little boy, Patu, when they have a dad around, when they're young, to them, they dad is a god to them, because they know that as they get older, they know that man, they know they're going to become something similar to that man that they see in their face. Mm-hmm. And so they're trying to emulate that man in every way possible. And so what hinders a lot of men when they get grown, a lot of those issues didn't get dealt with. Mm-hmm. So here it is, now they get into these relationships with women who, a lot of these women too, they didn't have a dad around. And the fact they didn't have a dad around, they have issues of trust and insecurity also. Mm-hmm. And so now we at a point now where people are not getting along. They're not able to share their feelings. They're not able to be honest about the direction that they want to go in these relationships they're in, both male and female. But from the male perspective, definitely issues of fatherhood play a very big issue. And I just read an article earlier today. They call it the boy crisis for the boys who grow up and don't have a father, and they're looking for that father figure, and they end up turning into the gangs and the drug dealers because a boy is looking for that alpha male. It's no different than nature.
Yes.
Animals in nature. Animals in nature. The one thing that they're looking for is that alpha male, that male to lead. And so definitely, from your experience when dealing with girls growing up, what are some of the things you see that a young girl is missing when she doesn't have a father around that causes her not to be able to keep it real in her relationships? What are some of the things you see?
Well, it's definitely true. Not having that, either you're a boy or girl, or even now a grown woman or man, when you don't have both a woman and a man, both your mom and dad, you don't see the example of what love is, especially if they're creating a healthy relationship. You don't get to see what that looks like. How does that work? You don't see how, when mom's upset, how dad regains mom's trust, makes mom feels good. So that way the girl can learn, okay, when my dad makes my mom upset, he finds ways to let her know, I still love you and I'm sorry. Those are different ways she can program that. And that also allows the young boy to see that as well. Like, you know what? Instead of me, when time gets hard, drop it and move on to somebody else. My dad kept making it work no matter what happened, for the sake of the marriage of both mom and dad. But unfortunately, not everyone marries and not everyone has the opportunity of still having both parents. I mean, my dad passed when I was very young. My brother, more so, I mean, us as girls, we went through it. There were a lot of moments and times where you miss out on the father parts, like the father-daughter dances and all that stuff. And, your first love is your dad, just like your first love as a boy is your dad, then comes mom. And then it changes as you get older. But it's just like I told my brother when he was going through his rough patches at 12 up until 15. I was telling him, like, at the end of the day, you can't punish others and especially punish yourself, because the more things that you do wrong, you might think you can bounce back. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Later down the line, it's going to affect you very badly. So instead of you sitting there and boo-hooing about what you don't have, be grateful that at least you have 4 other sisters that can help guide you the best that we can with our knowledge, and a mom. And any other male figures in your life, maybe your preacher, maybe your uncle, maybe your grandfather, maybe your cousin, positive people, to help guide you. Pick out pieces of attributes, characteristics that you love about them, that you would like to add onto yourself, and start building yourself to be the kind of man you envision, or the kind of woman you envision yourself to be. Because doing the whole, well, I missed out on my mom and I missed out on my dad, or you don't understand and all that. If you continue on this cycle, you're going to continue on this cycle, and you'll never end up having a fulfilling, healthy, normal relationship until you actually deal with those issues. And a lot of times getting closure doesn't mean you have to be with somebody to get the closure, or actually have to find them to have the closure. The closure is just like saying sorry. It's not about the person. It's about releasing yourself to actually have freedom, be able to exhale and move forward. It is hard. I mean, it's very hard to grow up where, for those who don't have parents, for those who have one parent, or for those who just didn't have any type of good relationships with parents, or not even had any good role models. But we live in a huge world where all you have to do is just reach out, and like MCI, how the commercial used to be back in the day, you talk to somebody. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with communicating, because I see a lot of women and men don't communicate. If they were to take the time to communicate, like if there was a young gentleman that said, you know what, I like Mr. Muse, I like some of the characteristics about him. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, Mr. Muse, I would love if you can to be my mentor, because and this is what I like about you. These are the characteristics I like about you. And I want you to show me and teach me what you did to accomplish this, that, and this. There is no harm in that. If anything, Everyone's job is to help evolve you, help you elevate from one end to the next. If they're not for you. That's just how it works.
Mm. Yeah, you hit on some good points right there. And for me, I know me, you may have difference of opinion, but for me, I think there's 10 ways a woman needs to know that she's dating a real man. And I'm gonna look at my
women know that she's dating a real man.
yeah, 10 ways to know that she's dating a real man.
Okay.
And my number one is a real man values her more than just looks.
Yes, that's true.
Because it's so easy. It's so easy to get caught up in lust, and it's so easy to get caught up in superficial.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of times women need to kind of step back mentally and look at, based on his behavior, based on his actions. And I always use this analogy here. I tell guys this all the time. If your woman, the one you say you love, if she got into a car accident and her face completely got burnt beyond recognition, would you still love her the same?
I know 95% of them say no.
Huh?
I know 95% of them will say no.
Exactly. And see, that's the true test right there, because if there's truly value and you the value is beyond the looks, hey, you're gonna stay. If it's true love, you're gonna stay. If the value and integrity is there, you'll stay. And like one of our persons just commented to the right, he said, yes, but I will still bounce. He's something else, Skeeter Murray. Yeah, but definitely, yeah. So definitely, I think that's one thing a woman need to look at. Is he valuing her looks much more than looks? Because it's so easy. It's, like I say, between social media, TV, we see so many people. We see this image of Hollywood where we had this image of beauty, and that's what people are going after first. They're not going after character. They're not going after the loyalty. They're not going after faithfulness. They're not going after the, really, I hate to say it, they're not going after the values that we see in the Bible: hope, love, faith. They're not going after those characteristics. And see, those are the characteristics you see in couples who are married 30, 40, 50, years. And so that's my first one. Number two, a real man will never be intimidated by his woman's motivation. Because when he's mature enough to understand that he's moving forward, he has a woman who's ambitious also, he understands that, hey, our ambition can work together. And as long as it works together, it can compound itself. And when it can compound itself, we can do 2 to 3 times more in a shorter time period because we're working together. But when he's, a lot of men get intimidated, but that's just another key I know of. The man is not intimidated, and he's willing to push forward. He's willing to, hey, let's join forces. Let's do some things together. Let's accomplish our goals. Let's have a 3-year plan. Let's have a 5-year plan. Let's have even a 10-year plan. And when a woman or man get into conversations like that, actually say, hey, let's sit down. Let's map out. Hey, you love me? Yes. I love you. Let's map out a 3-year plan. Let's map out maybe initially a 1-year plan and just really be committed to accomplishing those things. But I see too many women, personally, they try too hard to motivate their men. And what you think about that, Patu?
Because I spoke about this with you earlier, so I'm trying to find a good editing way of saying it without sounding so per se, to me, how I look at it, I don't understand how it goes from men expecting I won't say men, boys, but who call or title themselves as men, literally expect for the woman to cook, clean, pay your bills, iron your clothes, like provide and do everything for you, but you still want to have all the respects and everything positive that comes with the title of being a man. That doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Not to say that as a woman you should just lay back and do nothing and just, cook, clean, and be a Stepford's wife. If that's your choice of life, there is no crime in that, because you do have old-fashioned people like that. I'm very traditional, but at the same time, it's like women start wearing the pants, and it was not by choice. And I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about all women, because the economy, because of all types of situations that's happened over the past few decades, women had to literally go out, start working to help provide so that their man can do it alone, or a lot of times their husband passed or went to jail, or whatever the situation is that they had to force to provide. To the point that now some boys kick back and relax and say, okay, you got it. I'm good. Oh, why are you doing that? Do you mind bringing me a sub sandwich on your way? And yeah, you bring me that Coke Zero. Thank you. Like, how does that work? And and what's worse is a lot of guys don't even hold accountable of the ones that are like that. Because back in the day, when I was growing up, especially when my dad was growing up, you cannot be a boy going around and saying, I'm a grown man, because you would have another man put you in your place and say, no, this is what a grown man is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ain't none of those until you can step your game up, and you can be and this is what a good man is, and what a man's supposed to conduct himself in a relationship or without. You still a boy. Yeah. Nowadays, nobody wants to call people out, and that's another way where people get delusional and think they keep it real, because there's no one there to tell them. Just like for women, now you have these girls out there, and it's like, instead of them looking about the value of themselves, what they can offer outside of the looks, you can do whatever you want to the looks, because that's you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you have to, if you're going to put so much effort on the outside, you have to be damn sure to do triple the work for the inside, because at the end of the day, anything can happen. And if you want somebody to ride and marry you, you're going to want them to know you. And if all you can offer is the outside, I feel sorry for you, because you got nothing. And that's probably why it's very difficult to have a very meaningful, loving, committed, healthy relationship for both women and men.
Yes, you hit it on the nail right there, definitely. Yeah. And my next one, Patu, he will have more interest than just you. And that right there goes to that guy who's always, some men, they just sit up on their woman all the time. If she go watch TV, he got to watch TV. She brush her teeth, he got to brush his teeth. And, as the old saying is, those are the guys we call hen pack. Wherever they woman say, he's right there. He's just doing any and everything. But a real man's going to have more interest. He's going to have other things that he do that's going to empower his life and better his life that's outside of his relationship with his woman. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've seen some couples that love to be up under each other all the time. I thought I wanted that when I was young, until I ended up in a relationship where the guy had a life before he met me, but once we became a couple, when they say two becomes one, he literally wanted to become one. And I'm like, I realized one of my boundaries, had I not dated outside the box, was I don't mind having a man, but I don't need a man tucked up in my butthole like a toilet tissue. Like, there's nothing wrong with you having your thing that you do with your friends or whatever, and I do the same, have our separate hobbies, and hobbies that we have in common, or hobbies that we're growing together to have more things to do together. To me, a more healthier relationship is the kind of relationship where you have time for yourself, and you have time for your friends and family, and your man too. Like, you have to be able to balance it. But constantly being under each other, where you guys are literally each other's best friends, you wake up with each other every day, you go to bed with each other every day, talk to each other every day, do you really need to add any more every days? Really? It's kind of like, I don't know, to me, it's like jail. But I've met some women and men that love it. For me personally, I feel like that's the quickest way to make me run. Quickest way.
As you can see in the comments to the right there, Skeeter Murray has said, Patu is beautiful, honest, and intelligent. A wife by every measure.
Oh, thank you, Murray. I'm about to cry.
and thank you for that, Skeeter, because definitely, man, when it comes to a person being honest and being intelligent. That is, it used to be easy to find, now it's hard to find. But definitely, Patu, you are a beautiful person, and you totally with your show. You have been totally honest with the men and women about the decisions they were making, because a lot of the things that they're going through, you've been through already, and you've always given an honest assessment to what the consequences could possibly be if they continue to make the same decisions and choices that they've already made. And so my next one is a real man he'll give you answers. He's gonna let you know what's on his heart. He's gonna give you answers. It's not gonna be no question beyond a question you have to ask. And my next one, I believe he's gonna be direct.
Most true.
Yeah, he's gonna be direct. When a man is direct, and to my Periscope people, thank you Michael's email. Now, when a man is direct, that means there's nothing a woman has to guess about his intention or motive or the direction he's trying to move in. And and I think a reason why a lot of men fall short on that is goes right back to the relationship home dynamic and not having a man around.
But see, before you continue with the direct, a woman always appreciates, because if you can't keep it real with your woman, then it's no point. But a lot of you guys, before you guys get assassinated by a woman trying to keep it direct, keep in mind the woman you're dealing with and how to, don't sugarcoat it, but how to actually deliver the message, because it's all about the delivery. Don't go back to your woman saying, you know what, that hair was whack. Because that will be a war. You might end up on a couch, everything like that. So direct, I understand that, but for a lot of them guys who not there, you gotta really remember the delivery is the biggest. Even if you gotta show the flower and candy, if you know you're gonna give a huge blow, at least she's gonna be like, oh, all right, I could cry into these chocolates. At least I got some. Show me some love.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, you're right, and definitely that's so important. And I think that's something I'm growing in, being more direct, because it's so easy to just give a quick answer or a quick, not fully direct answer, just to, okay, let's talk next thing. I don't want to get too deep off into that. Let me just throw some old simple answer to keep it moving. But
you know what? That directing is the best one. I'm going to say right now, even though I haven't heard the list, would have to be the best. The reason I'm going to say it's the best is not only does it go for women and men, that's where a lot of situations fall short in relationships, is that a lot of people are fearful of being direct because they're fearful of dealing with the consequences. Right. But how else will you know the person unless you challenge them and you let them know who you are? Being direct means opening your mouth and communicating your wants, your needs, or whatever. Because men are not that hard to follow. Women just have to keep on guessing because guys are just afraid to open their mouths. That's the problem. And for those women who's like, I need a real man, or those men that says, I want a real woman. Well, what comes with that is you have to understand communication, and being direct is one of the main keys and why a lot of relationships are not working.
Absolutely. And Z the SEL Queen, welcome to the show. Yeah, definitely. My next one is a real man will trust you.
Yes.
When he sees a woman who's ambitious, when he sees her going after her goals, her dreams, and the choice he's making, he's going to trust her because he has confidence in himself to know that, hey, I'm not going to get caught up in the small things that other people get caught up in. I'm going to trust my woman, and that which falls into my next point is he's going to be cool, calm, and collected.
Mm-hmm.
Because I believe, Patu, when a man is real, when a man is real, and he's cool, calm, and collected, I believe it makes it so much easier for the communication to flow. Because if a man or woman is going to constantly get irate and constantly lose their temper and constantly get into a combative, confrontational mode, who wants to be in that type of situation? Do you?
No, I don't. I remember in the 80s and 90s, everybody wanted that ghetto love, that I'm screaming at you, throwing your stuff out the window type stuff. And I got high blood pressure. I don't have the time for all that. It's like, it's not necessary. But then for some reason, you do have couples and you do have individuals that say they don't like drama, but they actually bring on the drama. Like for some reason, they get some thrill out of it. There has not ever been a relationship where I've been in where until I got gangster, it was a whole thing. They were like, I didn't even know she could use words like that. I didn't even know she can stop talking proper. She looks sexy now. And then it's always a testing thing. I'm like, okay, I gotta drop you now. It's just too much of a headache. It's not healthy, especially if you're looking for a healthy relationship. It's not worth it.
Yeah, you're right on that. And my next one, a real man will show you respect. He's going to respect the woman's her decision with her career. He's going to be respectful of her family. You know, he's going to show the respect that she knows that, you know what, whatever I do, when other people see me and my man, they know not to approach me in a certain way because they see the respect that he gives me. You know, and I think when it comes to respect, a lot of people have really dropped the ball on that. I mean, a lot of times people just don't show no respect at all. We see it on social media all the time. You know, men and women calling each other B's and H's and these other names, and it's so demoralizing and it's so devastating to the psyche. Because this is what the next generation is listening to. This is how they're seeing the dialogue take place. And when they see that dialogue take place like that, they figure, hey, I don't have to respect you. I could just say whatever I want to say. If you don't like it, kick rocks with flip-flops, you know?
Okay, that's a new one. I'm going to have to use that. Kick rocks with flip-flops.
That's right. Kick rocks with flip-flops. Hashtag.
But not only does that come with respect, a lot of times, you have to give respect even when the person doesn't fully understand what respect is. Even if the person feels like, oh, that's really not respect. Because you'll have some guys, they have so much utmost respect for their woman, but then their woman want to be like more like, you know, out there in certain ways where to them it's not that way. But it doesn't mean you have to lower your respect level just to match hers. You keep your respect to that certain way. Somehow, some way, somebody's gonna meet in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Because I've noticed that I've seen, just like you have on social media, I've seen guys have pictures with their girls naked butt cheek, talking about this is my woman. If this is your woman, you wouldn't want to display to the world, hello, this is mine, and guys, this is what she is. Because you're not showcasing a respectable woman. You're showcasing, this is my woman for 15 minutes. Now y'all can come hit it and quit it whenever you guys want to. Because there's a particular way you have to represent yourself, whether the person believes in that type of representation of respect or not. Just because I respect myself and I might know a few people or hang out with a few people that their respect level for themselves are lower doesn't mean my standard's gonna drop. I'm just gonna keep on doing what I have to do, be the way that I know I need to be. And that's where a lot of people, I think, fall off too when it comes to that. They're trying to fit in.
Absolutely. You hit on a point right there, which excuse me, which goes to my next one. A real man will put effort into a relationship. And I know for me, for me personally, that's where I have dropped the ball at.
I'm sorry, what you say?
I said, for me personally, that is where I have dropped the ball at.
No, I'm sorry. Before you even said all that.
A real man will put effort into the relationship.
Oh, you use that E word, effort. Okay. I just want to hear that. Okay, right. Okay, I'm loving this.
I'm gonna spell it out. EFFORT, effort. Because you know what?
I'm loving it. It's true.
Exactly. Because you know what? It's so easy to get into a mundane situation where we get. I'm speaking from a man's perspective, where we get relaxed. We get in a familiar setting, familiar situations, and a lot of times we get in those familiar situations. We don't take the extra effort because you women are totally different than us. I mean, you know, I think for the most part we're very simple, and I'm gonna let you talk about those three things that when it comes to us, we're pretty simple. But when it comes to y'all women, you 1 minute, women, y'all could be happy, and then the next minute, just the tone of a word. Just the tone of a word, the whole The whole energy has changed, and once that energy has changed, most men are trying to figure out how do I get it back to where it was at. And the effort part is the part I believe is the missing link for a lot of men. Is just making sure they're constantly putting the effort in. They can create that balance where it can be more of a balance. It can be more okay. I see us moving forward, and it's not that 1 minute everything's good, next minute whoa, it's World War III. Like you say, the clothes are thrown outside the window.
Okay, I'm gonna say this now. I might have some few women when they see this show, they're gonna be like, "Excuse me." Every woman, whether you believe you are or not, every woman, when they say God made every woman with sugar and spice and everything nice, every woman have multiple personalities. They do.
Yes.
1 minute she's happy, the next minute she's not. But the only way you can get yourself out of the situation is, communicating, saying, "Babe, what happened? Like, we were just like this. How did we get from there?" Instead of just filling in the blanks or assuming, be quiet, listen, so that way you're like, okay, I know, now I know what to do. And if all else fails, send her go get her nails done. You get her out of your hair for 2 hours. Beauty shop, 5 hours, even better. And then by the time she comes back, she feels appreciative. She feels all these different things. Because there's so many different ways. Every man knows his woman, especially if you take the time to know your woman. You're going to know what works, what doesn't work. But in that type of sense, women are not made to be one-dimensional. It's every single millions of sides. And just like I say in human nature, every 7 years, your characteristics, your likes, your everything changes. Majority of the main things you love stays the same, but you change because you're evolving. But yeah, women are just we're psychotic. I have 28 personalities. I don't hide that from people. I let them know. So if in a sense of trying to get in a relationship with me, you have to be able to handle all of those personalities.
You said 20 personalities, right?
28.
28. Okay. I made sure when you just said that, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna open up me a middle salon close by you because I need to lock one of those up and make me some money. But if
anything, as a man, that's what men should love about a woman. Her spunkness, her bold demeanor, like all the different things that make her a woman. If a woman was just, oh, she's nice, she's pretty, she's like, her personality is just bland and just not multiple or anything like that, how long will that last? That's like eating lasagna for 9 years straight for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're gonna get bored. By the time somebody give you a hot dog, you'll be like, that's gonna feel like filet mignon. For the fact that you've been eating lasagna all that time. So to me, I think the more personality, as long as it's not psychotic, the spicier, the better. And the more it keeps the guy on his toes, Yeah,
I think the issue, most men, I think the ones watching right now, I think one of the biggest issues we have with a woman having multiple personalities is that a lot of women don't try to find that balance. I know for me, I try to put a time limit. When it comes to trying to have communication and to get things resolved, I want to get things resolved quickly. I don't want to be talking to the next day about something that's very small and trivial. I want to let's get it. Let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. And I'm quick to admit, hey, I'm wrong. And I learned from older guys and older men, hey, you know what? If you want a happy home and a happy wife, hey, I'm wrong. And just own up to it. Don't defend it. Don't make excuses for it. I'm wrong. And
that's the best advice ever. And even though you guys were like, that's not a good advice. Yes, it is, because let me tell you something. Your woman, or even if your woman says sorry, a lot of times it's not about who's right or wrong. It's just about getting on the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you already know you were the one who's in the wrong. And the fact that the person says sorry makes you feel guilty and makes you have to do whatever you got to do to kiss the behind of that person that says sorry, because you know deep down inside where it was your fault, really.
And you know what, Patu, since I said that, I know I need to say I'm sorry to one of your personalities right now.
No, but that sounds like okay. That was true. That was true. Because when it comes to stuff like that, and that's a lot of the situations because just like you said, you just want to talk it and get through it. But anytime when a female's out of balance, even a guy out of balance, they're not themselves, something is wrong.
Yes.
There's something going on, maybe work, maybe how they're feeling, maybe connections with friends or whatever. Something is out of balance because when everything in your life is in balance, you're happy, your mate is happy. When something's out of balance, you're trying to figure it out on yourself, forgetting that you have a mate, and it's your mate to remind you, hey, what's going on? Because I've noticed for a while, this is how you've been acting, like, you know what I'm saying? And if you're mature enough, you, instead of saying, oh, everything's okay, or whatever, you say that. But if you always end up having a woman that's always saying everything's okay, then the main question you should ask yourself is, why is she always giving me empty answers? Is it because she feels like I'm not gonna listen and take it in and figure out a way where we both can move forward, or I'm just gonna be dismissive? Because a lot of times, just like if your feelings were hurt about something, and I'm asking you, and every time I share anything with her, she just be going off. No, baby, everything's fine. Everything is hunky-dory, babe. No, go ahead, finish them beans and rice. I'll be right here waiting on you, clenching your teeth, thinking, damn it, that shit, type of stuff. The best thing, like you said, is to talk it out, get over it. The worst thing I hate is going to bed angry. I don't like it. It's not a good feeling. And to me, I'd rather have a resolution and actually have actions moving forward with it than nothing at all. But if you're constantly not resolving issues and moving forward and things like that, you're just going to end up with a big pile of mess. Exactly. That and eventually end up breaking you or breaking both relationships.
And Patu, my last one, I think you're going to like this one here. A real man will make you want to be the best version of yourself without changing who you really are.
That is true. Because like I said, when you're with someone, the main goal is you want to be around someone that makes you become a better person without you even trying. You just notice you're a better person, and it should be vice versa. And if you're in a relationship where you're not evolving within the relationship, and together you're both not evolving, becoming better individually and together, that's the purpose of a relationship. That's how you get the longevity. If you're not having that, eventually, you can't play yourself. Your soul tells you, your something deep inside tells you, and eventually you're gonna have to let it go. And then here you are, a few years go down, you're getting older, you missed out on marriage, you missed out on kids, boobies down to the floor, and you wonder what happened. Because you were on that, it's okay stage, you just, no. But yeah, I agree with that.
So I know we talked earlier, definitely what you shared with the audience, you said you came across the article about the 3 things. I need you to get into that, Patu.
Well, when I read this article, because you're so used to the top 10 articles and when it comes to things, but what I loved about the article was it's the top 3. Because I always talk about, if you're looking for a special kind of individual, instead of having a long grocery list of what this woman's supposed to be, what this man has to be, make it 3. Because if you had a gun to your head and you only had 3, then you're going to pick the best that makes you the most happiest when it comes to characteristic. But this actually came from a preacher, and he was talking about it in the standpoint of a man in a setting of marriage. But I'm like, not everybody's married. Not everybody cares to be married. And these tips are so perfectly great. I'm like, why could you not use it not only for yourself, but in your relationships? Then most definitely you already have the practice. It'll be perfect because you've been in practice all this time for marriage. So I'm going to start off with the 3 things men can't live without in their relationship.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I see you putting that volume up. Okay. Y'all ready? Okay. Number 1 thing is, because what the guy was trying to say is, it is possible to stay alive with a little water and a few nutrients. It's unhealthy and it's not fun, but it is possible. And even though no one would choose survival rations when it comes to our bodies, too often spouses make the same choices when it comes to marriage and relationships. Don't make the mistake of doing the bare minimum when it comes to your spouse. So the three main things he was speaking about, what men need, they can't live without, that makes them thrive, is the respect is number one. And the respect is all the different ways to him what respect means. And yeah, sometimes your man can get in your nerves that you get a little sarcastic. You might want, you're flipping with the mouth, but your tone is one of them. And if you give him the ultimate respect, even in times when he's going above and beyond and doing too much, at the end of the day, he's, his conscience, if he has one, and a heart and a soul, is going to make him feel a certain kind of way. Like, you know what? There was no need for that. I went overboard, and she was very respectful throughout the whole time I was nasty. I'm gonna have to fix that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want her to lose respect, or and out of her losing respect, her not respecting me the way she's doing now. So in this, he was talking about not only is it the way that you, the one place you get it from is, as a man, they're saying the one and only main place that a man needs and thrives out of respect is the relationship he has with a significant other. And if he isn't respected by that just one individual he can go to, then it's just really not gonna really work.
Right.
And then and the way you look at him, the way you speak to him, especially the tone you have with him in public and in private, and the words that you use will send a powerful message for good or ill use, and the power of communicating, what you're expecting, what you need from your mate, or what your mate is trying to say to you. Number two, he's got to have your loyalty. If the foundation of your relationship is missing the trust factor, or even the trust is in question, he is handicapped for what God has called him to do. No warrior who has to watch his back is safe to meet his enemies head on.
Wow.
I told you to get your shoes on. Number three is he got to have your body, but I'm talking about in the sense of biblical, of course. And he says, it's God's plan for pleasure, songs of Solomon, and your protection, which is why he said it's not good for men to be alone. Corinthians 7 verse 2, he receives your open and willing intimacy as a statement of love to him. Some chooses to measure out their favors with a teaspoon. Life is short. Use a ladle. I say use a pot. And, that is the main three things men need to strive. Now, are y'all ready to hear what the main three things, and it's only three, that as a man, if you do these, there's no way in hell you could fail. Even if you have that hard to crack kind of woman, you just got to be patient, stick to the program, and she'll start noticing like, man, he's changed. I need to change a little bit because he's very nice, and I don't want to lose him. Because if I lose him, just go back out there, start all over and everything. I already know what his likes and dislikes are. I'm not going to start over knowing new names, favorite colors.
Exactly.
So it says the three things she has to have to thrive. But remember, he's speaking in a biblical sense and in marriage, but I'm talking about relationship.
Yes.
Number one, she has to be known and understood. Do you know your woman? Truly know her. Do you know what she cares about, what she values, what she likes, what she fears, what hurts and offends her, what delights her. 1 Peter 3 verse 7 says, we must live with our wives according to knowledge. There is no one size fit all. There's no one size fit all. Your woman is a unique creation of God. But like every woman, her heart needs to be known and understood. And it's your responsibility to gain and understand and listen to her heart.
Yeah.
That way, that'll dwindle down all the multiple personalities to 5. You can multitask 5. And that's where a lot of guys fail when it comes to the relationship, is because they feel like, oh, she's like all of the rest of the girls, so she'll like this and that. And they forget that women evolve, they're different. I might be a particular way when I was single, but now that I'm in a relationship with you and it's a healthy relationship, you're going to evoke and change things about me that whether I know it or not, because I'm evolving, you're making me a better person. That's why I'm in a relationship with you. But as I'm evolving and changing, and just like you're evolving and changing, it is your main duty to know what I need and what makes me happy and all these things, because women change all the time. Number two, she has to be honored and admired. We're told to honor our women, but he says, wives, in First Peter, it's their due what God says we must give them. When Lisa received my honor, and he was talking about when his wife receives on a daily admiration, love, and respect, and all he's doing is giving out and projecting energy, which is fulfilling her heart, giving her the demands, everything that she needs to thrive. That way she won't care to hear other people, even if other people are saying things negative about her that makes her feel a certain way, whether she shares with them or not. She get that daily boost, that vitamin shot from her man that says, you know what, you're going to do great things today. You're beautiful today. You don't even need a reason. You're with that person. It's best that it comes from you, especially instead of her getting it from somebody else.
Exactly.
Number three, she has to be convinced of your love. Giving love comes so naturally to women. God didn't even have to mention it to them. But us guys, which he was talking about himself, we had to be directly told, love your wives. Sometimes sometimes men lose focus elsewhere, sometimes distracted, sometimes you deal with downfalls of selfish. God doesn't care about your reasons. He cares about your obedience. And with Jesus as your standard, you've got a long way to go in loving your wife, and I'm going to say your woman, in a way he loved the church and gave himself to her. So when it's coming to loving the woman you're in, that's who's your taker or giver. When you learn to be love giving, you will receive back more than you've ever thought of taking in. And that's the three things that men need and women need. Bam. And you saw all the lights. Thank you, guys.
That is excellent right there.
And see, to me, when I was reading that, I'm like, you know what? If you think about it, it's down to basics. And with those three things, you can build so much.
Absolutely.
You can build so much. And with those three things alone, you can build and evolve to the top 10 things that you were speaking of and things like that. And I think that's those three main foundations for women and men is where it all fails. That's where it's kind of like, that's where it's always rocky all the time. But those are the three things that I found in a beautiful article where men and women need to thrive, to have a meaningful, strong relationship.
Well, Patu, that is absolutely powerful. And I know those are some nuggets right there that our audience can take away. They can put it to use and really build a foundation that's going to be everlasting, a foundation to be proud of, a foundation. And especially when you mentioned just making sure you don't go to bed early. I've always grew up hearing pastors talk about that and minister leaders talk about that, how it's crucial to make sure if you do have something that's divisive, to make sure you do not go to bed with that on your heart and those feelings, but to deal with them so you can move on. Because one thing I think on a spiritual end, when we do go to sleep, whatever's on our subconscious, those things take root. Those things start taking root while we sleep. And I think that's one thing people fail to realize. Well, meditation is so important. The reason why meditation in the morning is so important, because whatever thoughts we have, even though we may hadn't even talked about it, but those thoughts are in our subconscious, that we wonder where these bad dreams come from. We wonder why we're looking at people in a certain way, in a certain light. And we have to really work on getting our mind right beyond the other person, so we can become the better version of us, so we can put the effort in and stand strong and really be humble and really assess the situation so we can be the best person. And definitely, I really truly appreciate that, Patrick. That's really, when I say you truly are, that's what makes you a true expert on relationships, because you're able to take those small things and you're able to bring it out and show people how those small things are important. Those small things that you're bringing up That's what's going to keep people together. That's what's going to keep people fighting to have a better life and fighting to continue to go after their goals and go after their dreams. So I definitely appreciate you. You are truly a blessing, just the wealth of information and knowledge you bring. And I thank you so much. And you know what, Patu, I want to give you a chance to let the viewers know who you are, how to get in contact with you, because definitely when it comes to relationships, you are the expert and the strategist. So definitely.
Well, like I said, I did this segment called Ask Patu on YouTube. And I have my show called the Get Inside Me Show that hasn't premiered yet, because right now I'm going to be going into season 3. So I'm still trying to pick the best month to, like, bam, we're back. So the Get Inside Me Show is basically a show about love, sex, relationships, where we talk about any and everything. So I know some people like, get inside me, ooh. But it's like, it's just to be able to talk about any and everything. So all you have to do is Google Patu Loca. You'll find me in a plethora of social media pages. So if you have any questions or would like any advice, hit me up. And if you don't mind me sharing it with others who might be going through the same thing, I can leave you anonymous, or I can create names for you, so that way people feel like, okay, great lesson learned. Thank you for this person for sharing this story, so that way she can share amongst us.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much, Patu. That is definitely great to open yourself up to just letting the audience and viewers know they can contact you, they can ask questions. And you know what? If you can, Patu, type the information in the comment box. That way, all of the people who watch the replay, they can have your information. If you could put that into the message box to the right now, if you could type that in, that'd be great. That way, in the message, and anybody who watches it can go right to your information.
On the links.
Huh?
No, I said so they can just click on the link.
No, I'm saying put the link in. If you could type the link into the comment section.
Oh no, yeah, that's what I was saying. Just drop the link in. What was it gonna do?
Okay, well, I was saying put it in because we're about to get ready to end the show, and so that way when the replay shows, it would be there. It will be there for them. That would be absolutely great. Type that in, yes. Yes, I appreciate that, Pat, too, because when it comes to relationships, I hope information, everyone tonight, that you're able to see how important it is to be real, and definitely the tips and the ideas that were presented, that whatever, if you're not in a relationship, you can work on you to get in one, and you know what some of the questions to ask. And if you're already in, work together and really move forward, and definitely at the end of the day, keep God first. And like Patrick mentioned, just about being obedient and definitely being humble. So those are 2 things that are very, very important. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out tonight. Patu has truly been a joy and a pleasure tonight. And as always, I'm definitely looking forward to having you on again, because the relationships, definitely, we're going to talk. We're going to dig deep. We're going to get to the nitty gritty. And so everyone, I want to let you know, if you want in contact with me, I am Michael Muse, the Fearless Coach. And you get in contact with me at my website at michaelmusenow.com. And you can email me at michaelmusenow@gmail.com, because you know what? It's better to be confident, to be living fearful. I'll tell you that. It's been great. And looking forward to seeing you next week. And y'all have a great day.